So the regional in Prague concluded last weekend, and we got to see our first taste of what the format could be looking like in post-rotation, and there's quite a lot of diversity in the top cut of the event. Obviously you have Dragapult, because Dragapult is still around. You got some decks that have risen up from the ashes, like Grimmsnarl. Mega Lucario has finally made a really good appearance. Zoroark is still pretty good, but the event was full of grass decks. Crustle got second place. Who would have thought that? Crustle is a pretty strong card, and yeah, grass decks just seem to be pretty prevalent because everyone hates Zoroark. But one deck that managed to get top 4 at the event, piloted by, I have no idea how you say his name. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it because it's Portuguese and I don't want to butcher it, but they were playing Mega Starmie with Dusknoir. Most lists I've seen play Mega Starmie, play it alongside Frostlass and Mega Frostlass, so you can like damage counters and move damage counters around, very similar to Grimmsnarl in a way. But this one decided to play Dusknoir instead and getting top 4 of the event with, like, I don't think there was any other Frostlasses. There was a Frostlass in top 32, but that was Frostlass Starmie. This one seemed to just be a little bit better. So what does Starmie actually do? Well, Mega Starmie EX is new from Power of the Elements. It has 2 attacks. It has Jetting Blow for 1 water energy, 120 damage, and this attack also does 50 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. And its second attack, Nebula Beam for 3 colorless, does 210 damage. This attack's damage isn't affected by weakness or resistance, or by any effects of your opponent's active Pokemon. So the first attack does a decent amount of damage and also a bench snipe for 1 singular energy, and then the second attack is kind of like a cleanup attack, but it can also just hit through those Pokemon that can't be damaged by certain types of Pokemon, like Crustle, but this deck can very easily deal with Crustle, I believe. Crustle can't be damaged by Pokemon with abilities, I think it is. No, scratch that. Crustle says prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon EX. But Nebula Beam ignores any effects of your opponent's active Pokemon, so you can just Nebula Beam through a Crustle and just take it out, really. Same with Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon, which can't be damaged by Pokemon with abilities, but Mega Starmie doesn't have an ability. So in terms of the deck list, we are playing 1 Badoo, as always, because Badoo is Badoo. We're playing 3 Staryu and 2 Mega Starmie. We're playing a 4-3-2 line of Dusknoir. We have the 1 Latias, 3 Munkidori, so we can move around any damage counters, 1 Pheasantipity and 1 Blood Moon, as well as 1 Meowth. And then for our items, we have 4 Buddy Buddy Puffin, 2 Night Stretcher, 3 Pokepad, 3 Pokegear, 3 Ultra Ball, 3 Risky Ruins. This says that whenever a player puts a basic non-dark Pokemon onto the bench, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. So you can very easily just put damage on yourself to then move with Munkidori, or you just, when your opponent puts something down that isn't a dark Pokemon, just put some damage on it. And then for supporters, we have 2 Boss, 3 Helder, 1 Judge, 4 Lily, and 1 Wally's Compassion. Wally's Compassion says heal all damage from one of your Mega Evolution Pokemon EX. If you healed any damage in this way, put all energy attached onto that Pokemon into the hand. Considering we only put 1 energy onto Mega Starmie, we can basically heal it back up to full, and then just put the energy back on it, saving it from harm's way. And then for energy, we are playing 2 Ignition Energy, which allows us to use Nebula Beam a lot more easier, 1 Legacy Energy as our A-Spec, which makes our Mega Starmie a 2 prize Pokemon instead of 3 prizes, and then we are playing 3 Dark Energy and 3 Water Energy. So I was originally playing a different build of this deck. I was playing the Mega Starmie Frostlass, Mega Frostlass variation, but I didn't like it. It just performed really badly. I think I did like 5 or 6 games with it, and I'm pretty sure I lost every single one of them because I just bricked, like, really badly. In fact, 3 of them, my opponents just went AFK, so I won those ones, but I don't count those ones. So I'm trying a different build of this deck, redoing the whole video. We're going to take it onto the ladder. I've had a little bit of experience with the deck, having played a different build, but I'm still not all too confident, especially we are now playing a different build, but we'll just see how it goes. So I'm hoping that this build performs a lot better than the one I was playing before. After all, this one did get top 4, so it only seems appropriate that, you know, it does well, but we'll just have to wait and see. Because, you know, I could be absolutely terrible with the deck. Do I want to go first? That's a good question. I think I do, because we can evolve on our next turn and start blowing up and acting like we don't know nobody. But this is a mulligan. Also going to give our opponent information on what we might be playing. They do have a metal sleeve, so they could be playing a metal deck. Going first hand, not good. If I see a Soul Rock with a Lunatone, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I do think that happened in one of my games. They had a Soul Rock and a Lunatone in play, and I just conceded right there. They benched another Pokemon. It is Steven's Metagross. Okay, we do get a Pokepad, which is going to get me probably the Duskull. We have a Clops. Lily with Legacy. That can do that next turn. I think I'm gonna go for the Skull. Venture Skull, slap Legacy on this. Because they're not attacking next turn. Unless they cut. Unless they use cut and cut me. Or they... No, I don't think this list or this deck plays. But do have Precious Trolley. What's this gonna get them? Because Steven's Metagross is decent in post-rotation. I don't think it's the best deck. But it is decent because you have Genesect, as you can see. I think Genesect's once per turn. It is not. They're going to slap on a Metal Energy to the Honedge. Depending on what I draw, I'm evolving this Staryu into Starmie. And then Lily, see what I get. Also, the good thing about Wally is that you can put the Legacy Energy back into your hand. Very nice. Switching into Beldum. Then we're going to Metallic Signal. A Deblade and another Beldum. Or was that a... Might have been a Metang? Deblade and Aegis Slash. They're getting that Honedge ready, which might be the target that I try and go for. We're going to evolve. And then just Lily. We don't get a Clops. But I'm going to put down a Skull, a Monkey. And I'm going to Buddy Puffin for probably a Staryu and maybe another Skull. No, I think I'm just going to get the one Skull. And then I think we use this Pokegear. That'll be useful for next turn. And then we Jetting Blow here. Yeah, we're going to Jetting Blow. I don't need to attach an energy. And I'm going to slap 50 here. So I know they don't have Unfair Stamp because they used Precious Trolley. Unless they played Judge, they shouldn't have any form of hand disruption. There's a Deblade. It does have 100 HP, so I can do it. So I'm not sure how many they need. I know they have a Deblade and a Aegis Slash in hand. So that's at least 180 damage. But they need 6 in hand, I believe, to KO my Mega Starmie. And they can just Metallic Signal for them. It says 2 more. They are only going to take 2 prize cards from this, which is one thing. If I could get a boss here, that would be very nice. Although if they don't kill, I can just Wally. But I think they probably do have enough. Mega Starmie. Interesting. That's also a potential target. Do they have... It's 6, I'm pretty sure. They need 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But they only take 2 prizes because of the legacy energy. And I'm going to slap up probably Staryu. I kind of do want to go for these Genesects. I am going to slap up Staryu. We do get a Clops, so I could take out this Blade and then Judge, because that shuffles everything back into the deck. That's actually like kind of a good play. But at the same time, I kind of want a Hilda. But again, they need to get another one established anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I think I'm going to... I don't know. I'm gonna see... I'm gonna Curse Blast. Yes, that puts them down to 3 prizes, but it sets them back a bit. See what I get. Latias is okay. But I don't really... I mean... I guess I'll smack it down. I don't really need to, actually. This is a tough choice. I think I'm going to slap this down. Slap this on here, and then Judge. And hope that I draw what I need. Okay, thank you. Pretty Puffin, I'm gonna get a Duskull and another Staryu. And then I'm going to Nebula Beam. They also put up a Genesect and it has 2 Retreat Gust. Interesting. Like, yeah, they can Metallic Signal for a Metagross. I am also in a top deck situation right now. Oh, they already had the Metagross, that's good. So what does this do? During your turn, you may search your deck for a Psychic Energy and a Basic Metal Energy. Attach 1 each to a Psychic Pokemon and Metal Pokemon in any way you like. Wait, what? Search your deck for a Metal Energy card and a Basic Psychic Energy card, or 1 of each, and attach them to your Psychic Pokemon and Metal Pokemon in any way you like. That's worded very, very strange to me. Rock Scouting. Scouting for what? He's definitely not scouting for girls. Getting another Genesect? We're really going to put 3 Genesects in play? Well, they need to get this Genesect out of the active. Are they actually just going to attack with this thing? They might be, or are they just slapping energy onto it to get it out of the active? I think they're attacking with it. Well, they attached onto the Honedge. Do they not have any energy in this card? They have 2. I'm just going to Metallic Signal again. Just going to retreat to Skarmory. Okay. And then pass. Top deck of water. Nice. And that's really the only thing I can do. I mean, they just Honedge evolve, and I just hope they don't have 6. Got 2 in here, so they have 1, 2. Search 2 for... Yeah, I think they have it. Oh well. Might as well just do it. Because they have searched a Genesect, so they can just pop it down, search 2 more Evos. Well, they need to... This has free retreat, doesn't it? It does. Okay, I thought it had a retreat cost. But it doesn't. So they can just evolve. And then if they have 6, they have 6. Isn't it 2 metal? It's 2 colorless. I thought it was 2 metal. I played that deck in a video. I should know what it is. There's the other Genesect. It's not that hard of a play. If you have 6 of them, you win. Are you going to Metal Signal? You are choosing a new active. Are you going to Metal Signal? It'd be funny if they prize them. There's 2. You're gonna do it again. There's 1. Unless they already have them. I don't know. Show me 6. There's 6. Okay, so that first game was something, I guess. Deck just... I don't know, there's just something about it. It doesn't really have like much of consistency, if you know what I mean. I guess we'll go first again. I don't really know. Maybe I'll go second for the third game, but it's a bit difficult to decide whether to go first or second. I mean, this hand isn't too bad. We do have a monkey, we have a buddy puffin. We do have an Yveltal, which is a little annoying. I'm gonna go monkey. I'm gonna get a skull and a Staryu. I'm gonna slap a dark energy on this. And pass. So Yveltal, it could be many different things. It is Zoroark. Playing Yveltal, I know like one of the top lists at Prague was playing Yveltal. I don't know, honestly, I don't know, it just seems like a bit of a situational card. Monkey Dory. Okay. Cyrano. Preemptively searching out those Zoroarks. Because they know that they're probably going to get item locked. I'm going to clutch. So now I can't retreat. To get another monkey. So I think we'll bench this. No point really slapping energy onto Staryu. Considering can't really get this Badoo out of the active, so I think I'm just going to Lily. We do get a Mega Starmie. Also get Ruins and a Buddy Puffin. A Hilda for next time. I'm going to Buddy Puffin for another Skull. I am going to probably... Not really sure, actually. I think I want this Badoo to die, really. Like... Yeah, I don't think I'm going to move this damage. I think I want this Badoo to die. I'm going to put down some Ruins. And I'm going to Itchy Pollen. I'm not going to move the damage. because they have a monkey, so they can probably just move it straight on back. Zoroark number 1, Zoroark number 2. Slapping the energy onto the monkey, probably just going to preemptively move it. Get rid of my Badoo. And then I have to bring up something else. Probably just bring up a Dust Skull, to be honest. Because at least then I can blow it up. Which I don't really mind bringing up the Staryu, to be honest. I'll just bring up a Dust Skull, because at least then I can Cursed Blast it. Actually, I think it might have been a good idea to move that damage, put it on something else. And then could do stuff. I'm really gonna have to Hilda here, aren't I? I mean, it's fine, I suppose. So we go Hilda, Legacy, and Clops. And then we evolve to Clops. Does that remove the thing? I don't know how that all works. Slap that on there. Move this 30 off. I think I want to put it... I mean, I'll just slap it on the monkey, to be honest. And then I blow up. Put it on the monkey. Bring you up. And then Jetting Blow. You get a double KO. Does get energy in the discard for PP ups. But we should be okay. Darumaka. Not really something I'm worried about, to be honest. Buddy puffing for a third Zorua. There's the Fez. So, I don't think they're really going to be knocking out this Mega Starmie, in all honesty. There's a PP up. Because they need... like, Mochi and Black Belt. They're going to get Resh. Sure. Gonna put another on that Zoroark. So I could actually just slap an Ignition on here, I guess. They're gonna boss the monkey. Interesting. So they're not giving me any damage, which is fine, I guess. Because I'm just not going to attack their Zoroarks. If that's the case. So just bring up the Starmie again. Buddy Puffin. I'm gonna put down these. And then I think I just boss up the Fez. They didn't even... I don't even think they used trade last turn. No, they didn't. Because I knocked out these, they used this, and this. And then they didn't even trade. Interesting. So I'm going to boss this. And then probably just get a Nebula Beam. Just to get rid of it. Haven't evolved the Dust Skulls. We get a Hilda. So there is maybe the possibility. Heavily depends. Doing some trades. Slapping on cape. Okay. So I think I'm gonna boss again. Do they have the Darmanitan? They don't. They're just going to get rid of the skull. And I need... really need anything, really. If I can boss up a Darumaka, that'd be nice. And this boss. Does that win me the game? Yes it does. Pokepad for Clops. Evolve into Clops. Boss up this. Blow up Clops on the Darumaka. And then kill the Zorua and the Darumaka with Jetting Blow. On to game number 3. I think I'm going to opt to go second this time. Like, going first, that last game was like... I mean, I had a good hand, so... it didn't really matter. Well, our opponent's choosing anyway, so I don't get to choose. That last game went pretty decently. Even though... you know, I wasn't really... drawing a whole lot, I guess. I think it said I was going first, I don't remember. And it is a mirror match, but they're playing the Frostlass version. And they opted me to go first. I will take the 1. My turn. So, kind of don't want to put the risky ruins down. I'm gonna do this for this. Get 2 skulls. And then... actually, I'm gonna put this ruins down. And then I'm going to end my turn. So I have the Starmie for next turn. So I can already start bench destroying. And if we get any Clopses... okay. Sure. That's a pass. Right, so I need... energy... Clops, and I have energy Clops. That is a swift game 3 if I've ever seen one. Well, I mean, you get a prize, but I just bring up Starmie and Jetting Blow. GG! That is a swift game 3. Do I keep this one in the video? I mean, that first game was kind of long, so I don't really mind a short game 3. So I was opening up the free packs that I got, and yeah, we got the pretty nice illustrated alternate art, secret art. This art is like so cool. So overall, Mega Starmie EX is a bit of a mixed bag in my opinion. It does have some pretty useful tools, and it's also just a pretty decent Pokemon with some very good attacks. But I think the builds that we are playing just lack a little bit of consistency. Like, yeah, you do have stuff like Hilda, and, you know, you have all your draw support and all that kind of stuff, but it just doesn't have any inbuilt draw support or any, like, inbuilt acceleration or anything like that. And you kind of have to play it with other stuff in order for it to just be better. Like, you have to play it with either Dusknoir or Frostlass in order for it to be good, but, like, the card by itself is good, it's just... it needs something else in order to make it just a little bit better. Comparing the two, I do think the Dust Noir version is a lot better, considering for the Frostlass version you need to have the Frostlass set up and then also the Monkey Dories to move damage, whereas with the Dust Noir version you just evolve, blow up, put stuff on the bench, and then when you jetting blow you could possibly take 2 KOs at the same time. As we saw in that second game, I was very easily able to just blow up on the Darumaka, boss up the Zorua, and that's my last 2 prizes. If I didn't have that additional damage, I wouldn't have been able to do it. And with the Frostlass version, I would have needed Frostlass and then also 30 damage on one of my Pokemon to then move over, and I would have needed to get an energy for the Monkey Dory and all that kind of stuff. Which I think that build does play Crispin, so it's a little bit easier, whereas this build doesn't play Crispin. The Wally actually could have come up in some games, but my opponent mainly played around it. Like, if your opponent smacks into this thing, you could just move the damage off with a Monkey Dory or 2 and then fully heal it, get your energy back, and then just attach it back on, or even then attach maybe a different energy. For example, if you don't want the Legacy energy on it, you could slap on a Water energy, or maybe if you've got the Legacy energy on a different one, you could get that one off of it and then slap it on another one. You can kind of see where the Wally does come in, and it is a pretty decent card. But again, I think the consistency is something that this deck is just a little bit lacking in. Like, hoping that you draw into a supporter, because your only form of draw support is Fez. That's kind of it. Like, if you brick, you're just going to be dead drawing for a couple of turns. As we saw in the first game, I think it was, I just wasn't really drawing a whole lot and I had to commit a lot of resources into a play, and then it came back to bite me in the end, and I was just hoping to draw into one thing, and luckily I did. But if I didn't, then that game was quickly over. The second game was a little bit of the same, but also my opponent wasn't really doing a whole lot. And then that third game was just a swift, easy KO. But it also shows that the other person probably bricked as well, which meant that they couldn't do anything, and then they just have to pass and hope that I don't have the resources to KO, and I just happened to have those resources to take the win. But the deck is doing well, it's doing okay. It's taking a couple of top spots at events, it's doing well at local events and cups and all that kind of stuff, and it has the possibility to get better in future sets maybe, especially with the next set, because we do get quite a bit of water support, I believe, with the release of Mega Greninja, so the deck could get a little bit better in that set. I believe we get, I think it's the Super Rod for water types specifically. I can't remember exactly what it does, but we get that, and we also get some other water support and all that kind of stuff, so the deck could get better next set. The set afterwards, Pitch Black, I'm not really sure, the full set list isn't out yet at the time of doing this video, but this deck is decent. I had some fun with it, even though I have been flip-flopping between different builds. The deck is still fun and I can see its appeal. A couple of people at my locals have been playing it. Not really sure how they've been doing with it, but if they're playing it and having fun with it, that's all that matters. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, what you think about Mega Starmie EX. Is this a deck that you're going to be playing? Is this a deck that you've had your eye on? What build are you going to be playing? Are you going to be playing the Frostlass version or the Dusk Noir version, or maybe another version? Maybe you want to slap this inside of another deck? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of that nonsense. Any and all support is greatly appreciated. And you take care.